It's a fine day in Amsterdam, and a very Dutch homecoming parade is underway. The city has come out in force for its defeated World Cup team. The best of the Dutch spirit and national pride is on display. But there's a darker side of Dutch nationalism that's being played out here right now, and it's anything but in the background.
Elke dag arriveren er nieuwe vliegtuigen, vol met nieuwe gelukzoekers. De sluizen staan nog steeds wagenwijd open. Hoofddoekjes, burqas, minaretten, uitkeringsafhankelijkheid, misdaad. Het houdt maar niet op. Wat Nederland nu nodig heeft, is een immigratiestop voor mensen uit moslimlanden. We moeten weer zelf gaan uitmaken.
Geert Wilders' time has come.
De Partij voor de Vrijheid.
A long-time politician, it seems he's found a key message that's hitting the right notes for the Dutch electorate. TV commercials are often overly dramatic, but in person, Wilders can make his ads seem almost subtle.
Our culture, which is based on Christianity, Judaism and humanism, is better than the retarded Islamic culture. And this is tough to say, but it's true. And we should defend who we are and get rid of this cultural relativism, because at the end of the day, it will kill us.
You can be proud of your own culture, but why use terms like retarded? I mean, it's a deeply offensive term, is it not?
Well, if it's true, I don't care if people are offended. My aim is not to offend people. We don't have anything against Muslims if people behave according to our laws.
But you do. You do.
No,
have
I don't.
something against
No.
Muslims. How can you say that on one hand you don't want any of them here, and then say you've got nothing against Muslims? You've got a lot against.
No, we don't have. I even acknowledge the fact that the majority of the Muslims in the Western world, and certainly also in the Netherlands today, are law-abiding people. But still, the more Islam would come to our free society, the more the Islamic culture would become dominant, the less freedom we will get. En dat is goed nieuws voor dit multiculti-kabinet, dat buigen voor de...
In Parliament since 1998, Wilders has been largely a fringe figure.
Een hondenbelasting. We hadden een vliegtax, we hebben nog steeds een verpakkingentax. En waarom dan niet, mijn eerste voorstel, de introductie van een hoofddoekjesbelasting. Een kopvoddentax, zou ik het willen noemen. Gewoon, voorzitter, 1 keer per jaar een vergunning halen en dan meteen even aftikken. Ik zou zeggen, de vervuiler betaalt.
A figure easily mocked by the major parties.
Het kabinet...
Mevrouw Kamp. Ja, voorzitter, het is te absurd om op te reageren, maar ik ben ook voor een tax. Een tax op perkzieden in haar, want ik vind het ook een beetje vervuilend af en toe.
But no one is laughing now.
Collega, dat is ons voorstel.
Collega Wilders.
In the June national elections, Geert Wilders Freedom Party, against all predictions, achieved a stunning result.
Het onmogelijke.
The biggest party in the Netherlands won 31 seats. Geert Wilders' party won 24. And polling this week suggests that he now leads the most popular party in the Netherlands.
Meer veiligheid, minder criminaliteit, minder immigratie en minder islam is waarvoor Nederland voor kiest.
Wilders has moved from the fringe of politics to being a kingmaker in the current coalition negotiations.
The Netherlands is a democracy. We won fair and square in a transparent democratic way. And 1.5 million people in Holland made us the biggest winner of the Dutch elections a few weeks ago.
Now why? What do you put it down to?
We are not part of the political elite. We are a new political party. Second, we are the only party that really says, as strong as we do, that we are fed up with the mass immigration from non-Western countries, more especially from Islamic countries.
Kom op, Fleur.
Zoals u ziet is het niet altijd makkelijk om tegen de stroom in te roeien. Maar het gaat hartstikke goed met de Partij voor de Vrijheid. Steeds meer mensen steunen ons. En daarom...
Like him or not, Wilders' rise in the past 12 months has been spectacular. This was his first TV ad when the election was announced. It wasn't announcing policies, it was a call for candidates.
Wil u ons nou helpen? Stuur dan een uitgebreide motivatiebrief met een cv naar kandidaat.
A call answered by scores of like-minded citizens, many now parliamentarians, who shared his views about ending all Islamic migration to the Netherlands and, they hope, to all of Europe.
Dan hebben we extra hulp nodig. But of course you have to use arguments, and I have a lot of arguments, a lot of facts. It's very difficult to make clear to the people that Islam is not just another leaf of the tree on the tree of religions. It's not to be compared with Christianity. It's a violent ideology like communism and fascism, and we should deal with that that way. If we don't, at the end of the day, Islam will eat us.
Het feest begint hier los te komen. We moeten even wachten tot we Geert Wilders zelf kunnen...
When the election results were announced, every party declared that none of them would negotiate with Wilders.
I have now more than 15% of the vote. My party is the third biggest party in the Dutch parliament. In the polls, we are by far the largest party in parliament now. So, believe me, if I really would be extreme in the Netherlands as a tolerant country, I would have 0.02% of the vote.
But after 2 months of failed coalition talks in The Hague, Wilders' bloc has proven too tempting for the Liberals and the Christian Democrats. It's widely reported now that Wilders will form a government with them next week.
We want a stop of building more mosques. We don't want more Islamic symbolism in the Netherlands.
And there can be little doubt about what his policy demands will be.
We want the closure of Islamic schools.
A ban on the burqa and on the Koran among them.
So if there is a political will, and if there is
and a rather bizarre immigration test that ensures that not only Muslims are blocked, but anyone tainted through association as well.
It's possible. It will be possible, and we will all benefit from it.
I can accept you clearly have problems with Islam, but it's in the definition, isn't it? And it's in the implementation. How do you bring in a rule that says you'll have immigrants from around the world, but not if you're Muslim? Is there a form?
No, it's not. Once again, our criterion is not whether you are Muslim or not. We say no immigration from everybody from Muslim countries. It means that if you are not a Muslim and you come from Egypt, you are also not accepted.
I'm a Christian from Lebanon. I'm not.
You will not be. No immigration.
I'm a Jew.
From Islamic
I'm a Jew from Egypt.
From whatever country you are from, as long as it's an Islamic country, and the United Nations has a list. What are the Islamic countries? Country where more than 50% of the people are Muslim indeed, and those people from those countries are not allowed to come. So we are not saying that if you are Muslim, we are saying if you come from that country. In reality, it means that 99% of those people are Muslim indeed. I agree with that, but this is not the criteria.
In cities like Rotterdam, with large migrant populations, it can be an edgy moment to even raise Geert Wilders' name.
Do you feel under threat?
Yeah, of course. Every Islamist gets threatened in this time. I see it actually like a fool was talking, you know.
When Geert Wilders walk here in Rotterdam, and I see him, he's a dead man.
Dead man, well he might be too.
He motherfucking dead.
To others, like local councillor Fatima Lemkarat, Wilders' victory inspires more fear than anger.
There are so many voters that don't know that the PVV, his party, that they want to ethnically register everybody in Holland. There are a lot of people who don't even read what he wants.
Fatima works as a social worker, mostly in the Muslim areas of Rotterdam, and claims that many of her clients and friends, all Dutch citizens, are considering leaving Holland.
I was really disappointed.
Disturbed not so much by Wilders, but by the sudden affirmation of his views by so many Dutch.
You watch TV, if you read the newspapers, you feel a little bit threatened, but...
No matter what you do, it's never enough. And you just get fed up with that feeling. If you just... Because the message that Holland gives immigrants is you have to participate, you have to learn the language, you have to get an education, you have to get a job. well, I did that. And then still you tell me that I don't belong here. Then you said, okay, bekijk het maar in Dutch. Bekijk het maar. Can we also see it? It's like a kick in the stomach.
It's a kick in your stomach, and you feel like you start at one again. You're like, what?
The electoral verdict is in on Wilders, and the reverberations are being felt across the migrant community.
Let's be honest about that. I mean, his marketing team is brilliant.
But next month, Wilders is facing another verdict that is potentially more threatening to his career.
But this is a case in which I also have I see my personal opinions in it. And
one of the Netherlands' most prominent lawyers, Gerard Spong, is leading an action to prosecute Wilders under Holland's strict hate speech laws for comparing the Koran to Mein Kampf, amongst other things.
But there are certain limits.
It's no minor charge, carrying a possible jail term and a criminal conviction.
Is it appropriate to bring this sort of action against a man who essentially is a Democrat?
I don't care. Also, Democrats can commit crimes. And it is a crime, in my opinion, what he has done. So, in our law system, we does not differ between Democrats and not Democrats. You're a criminal or not a criminal. That's the point.
You talk a lot about criminals, but you could very soon be a criminal yourself.
Yes, unfortunately, we have in the Netherlands hate speech laws. The maximum penalty is 2 years in jail for things I said about Islam as a leader of the biggest winner of the Dutch elections, which of course is ridiculous. So I'm confident that I will be acquitted. But hey, you never know.
Everyone in this country, political leader or not, having a big political party or not, everyone in this country is bound to our criminal code.
The prosecution is clearly weighing heavily on Wilders. Jail terms aside, a criminal conviction would make international travel to pursue his broader ambitions extremely difficult.
Of course not. I would rather have 10 seats less in Parliament, to be honest, and have no court case than have this court case. Because what would happen if I would be convicted? I'm a parliamentarian and a convicted criminal because of crazy hate speech law that we should have abolished decades ago.
But it seems there's no stopping Geert Wilders.
En niet-westerse allochtonen met een dubbele nationaliteit die zich schuldig maken aan de misdaad, zoals die vele Marokkaanse straatterroristen, die moeten hun Nederlandse paspoort inleveren en gaan het land uit.
Threats of prosecution haven't moderated his language, nor it seems have death threats which he receives constantly.
I pay a high price for it. In the process of fighting for freedom, my party's name is Party for Freedom. I lost my own freedom almost for 6 years now. I'm under 24-hour police protection, traveling around in armored cars with a lot of police. And I lived in prison cells with my wife, not as a criminal, but to be protected, in army barracks. And now I live in a safe house from the government. And unfortunately, it continues.
Last month, Al-Qaeda circulated this slick magazine, documenting the delights of murder and mayhem, with Geert Wilders scoring special attention.
The threats are terrible and my personal life is a hell, but I cannot say it's worth it because then I perhaps would be an idiot, but it will not stop me.
Wilders is not just an international target, he's looking for an international audience as well.
These are dramatic times. The Europe, you know, is on the verge of collapsing. We are now witnessing profound changes that will forever alter Europe's destiny and might send...
Wilders has just announced he's forming a worldwide anti-Islamic organisation, visiting all Western countries, including Australia, to establish local chapters.
Well, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, all cultures are not equal. Our culture...
This presentation to the Florida Security Council is his standard fare, part speech, part slide night.
But Islam should be compared with other totalitarian ideologies like communism or fascism. It is an international struggle to defend our freedom and to stop Islam. And we will work in many countries. It will be based in the United States, but we will focus on many also European countries. I will also visit Australia, and we will try to get to help grassroots organizations to support this message and to also try to get some leverage on the political levels.
Not one person from Muslim countries should be allowed to emigrate to our societies anymore.
My mailbox is full of letters and emails from Australia, from Canada, from Norway, from Taiwan, from everywhere, that people want to do something with this message. And I believe we should give them the opportunity and some shelter.
We expel them, we tell them, there is the door, you have to leave our society.
In the weeks ahead, Wilders will be sworn into government, face a criminal trial, and head to New York on September 11 to oppose the building of a mosque near the World Trade Center.
Gentlemen, we also have to stop the building of new mosques in our societies.
A visit that will effectively be the launch of his international organisation. It's likely that September will be quite a month for Geert Wilders, and probably the rest of us as well.
We will never give in. We will never give up. We will never surrender. Thank you very much.